So hello everyone, welcome here to round number 9 of the 2018 NASA RallyCross Challenge season. We're at a venue that we were supposed to be at 6 years ago with just a little different layout. As welcome to the Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, Texas to finish off this championship. The reason why I say that is Josh Mertz has a 30-point lead in the Drivers' Championship, and we only got 6 cars here, so 6th championship has been clinched very anticlimactically for the German in NASA Rallycross. We have car issues on Chris Wetz and Chad Simpson, so that would be our 8th cars, and that would give us eliminations, but both of those guys are going to be unable to participate in today's race. So 2 heat races of 6 laps apiece. The winner gets a bonus point. Realistically, top 2 transfer, but winner gets a bonus point. The other 2 will be sorted grid order on points, and it'll give us 10 laps and 2 jokers. And like I said, the championships have essentially been decided except for the Nations Cup. Nations Cup is still wide open with the 42 points left on offer. Now this layout in Texas is extremely exciting, very unique. And what we'll do is we will go on board the now 6-time champion Mertz, who was fastest in qualifying, to show you how it is. So once again, our camera crew lied to us. We're going to be riding on board the former defending champion Philip Kraus in car number 1 through the chicane and down the front straightaway of the infield road course here at the Texas Motor Speedway, past the start-finish line. Normally you turn right there to go on the asphalt, but we are running the camper paths here in Texas. Gravel, very tricky right-hand 90-degree corner, rounding the bend, and it's going to be very tricky through this section. Right-left chicane, not a lot of room. You'll see track limits being violated all day long. We're a little relaxed on that. Bus stop chicane, right-left, left-right, bump in the middle there. Exiting and down to second gear through the left-right chicane. If you were to continue straight, you'll see later on will be the joker lap around the second camper path. Very tricky apex because it's so wide, and it's a 45-degree angle on the apex. Gas it hard out of 4th gear, get close to the wall on the left, down to another right-left chicane, and back out onto the asphalt. Extremely tricky dirt sections, but an awesome layout here in Texas. Getting ready for the first heat race. It's the teammates and Dylan Livingood. Green flag, and off the line, down to the first corner. We're going to see the teammates dueling here. Kraus gets a better run than Mertz. It looks like Livingood's confused. He just got to the circuit, and clearly he doesn't know the track layout, so we'll immediately take the 51 out of it. Rounding the dirt and back onto the main course. Kraus will lead his teammate, car number 1 and car number 2. Like I said, this course extremely tricky here in Texas. Let's see if Mertz will try to the inside on his teammate. It's going to be interesting to see these guys battling one another when there's no points on the line. Like we've seen in the past when they're battling for a championship, it certainly gets interesting. Rounding the dirt back onto the asphalt. Kraus will lead his teammate. Looks like Livingood struggling. The 51 just got to the circuit, remember. And Kraus with a big lead over his teammate, championship leader Mertz in car number 2. Down into turn 1 again. Remember, you can't go past the yellow line. It's going to be very tricky to have 4 wide into that corner on the first lap in a couple moments' time. Kraus has a decent lead over his teammate. As remember, Philip Kraus has won once this season in the NASA Rallycross Challenge. He won the second visit to Daytona. He's going to joker? No, he won't. Mertz will in car number 2. So we're going to see this joker unravel. You'll see how much quicker it is. There's a tire barrier on the inside, and NASA decided to leave that there because if you hit it, it's your own fault. Basically what race control said. So Mertz is exiting the joker, and Kraus is on the regular course. So that's the delta between the teammates as Mertz takes the 3rd lap of the race. And now we're going to see if the German can hold this lead over his teammate. But Phil's getting close. 51-2. And Mertz ran a 46.4, so it's about 5 seconds difference between the teammates. Mertz was quickest in qualifying, but I'm not sure. I think he might just be enjoying the driving of these cars since he has the championship all in his pocket. So he takes it to the regular course, and Kraus jokers, and Kraus has been blisteringly faster than his teammate. Looks like he runs it wide a little bit, but no contest between the teammates for the race lead. That's extremely interesting to see, given the fact that Mertz had a decent delta. We'll see the lap time exchange here as Mertz crosses the line. 52.9 to a 45.3, so 2 seconds faster essentially was Kraus on the Joker rotation. So car number 1 certainly trying to get all the victories that he can while he holds the number, and it looks like he's going to have to go back to car number 2 next season, as it's been an MRT affair for the Drivers' Championship for the last 4 seasons in the NASA RallyCross Challenge. Looks like Livingood in the 51 is going to get in the way of these two. And the former champion looking to close up his career as a driver in the NASA RallyCross Challenge with today and next week at the Iowa Speedway. And we remember we made that comment 2015A that it would be his last season after the 2014 B defeat. But this time it's for real, and the farewell tour for Dylan Livingood certainly not looking good for the Canadian. 2 to go for the other Canadian, Philip Kraus, who is tied with Livingood on the all-time wins list for the Canadians. They are 4th all-time on the wins list behind this guy, Wetz, and Cody Erdman. So let's ride on board the champion-elect and look at this circuit. You notice how difficult it is to drive on this circuit. Look how dirty this car is from the windshield. This dirt unrelenting. The difference here is it's not like the Rallycross tracks that we've ran previously in the season, because that has asphalt underneath this dirt. This is all dirt. So they're going to get through this gravel and they're going to wear it down to the dirt, and it's still going to spit mud out as we take the white flag. And I think realistically, this is Kraus's race, because Mertz has just been cruising to try and catch his teammate, but the bonus point does not matter at this point in the season. Through the bus stop here, Kraus has a huge lead over his teammate. Looking at all the dirt on car number 2. But that really doesn't matter, as Livingood still struggles in 3rd. Philip Kraus is going to come off the final corner, and he will beat his champion-elect teammate for the win in heat number 1 much quicker than his teammate in car number 2. They advance automatically to the final. Remember, technically LCQ, but it won't be run. It's going to be run as a practice race for the 2 cars that don't make the final. So the second heat race in Texas. Connor Parisi, Ray Kingsbury, Jacob Kraus. So 2 privateers and a manufacturer car in this one. And we know Parisi's quick, so this should be a good race here in Texas. Green flag. Off the line, the Ford gets a terrible jump over the Subaru, but Jacob Kraus struggling as well in the 42, down to turn 1. Let's see if Kingsbury is going to give Parisi a run for his money in the heat race, or if this is just going to be a simple 6-lap test run for the Fujin Racing driver. Out of the dirt and back onto the asphalt. To the inside of Parisi went Kingsbury, thought better of it. Parisi slides it in the 11. Kingsbury tries to make it. They make contact nearly, and both of them are sliding, and Kingsbury's around. So Parisi holds the lead. Kraus goes up to 2nd, Kingsbury in 3rd. And this is going to be a fantastic final if these heat races are any indication. This track is unrelenting in having to get it right. So Parisi, transponder issue on the 11, but he holds the lead, exiting the front stretch chicane to end the first lap of the race. Remember now, jokers are now allowed as we enter turn number 1. Interestingly enough, given all of the circumstances, realistically, Parisi will win in privateers today. Not discrediting Jacob Kraus, but if you look at Pro iRacing driver versus the results that Kraus has had, the bets are weighing towards Parisi. But the point of this is, Parisi will leave this event with the Privateer Championship lead. Marwan Mafta is not here. He withdrew his entry. He did not apply for a provisional for today's race. So, that gives him a 3-point lead over Jacob Harberts in the Privateer Cup, and it's expected that Harberts will return, as Harberts has not been around for the last month or so, as Kingsbury takes the lead. Harberts has not been around for the last month or so, but due to the regulations, he hasn't gotten provisionals for the last couple weeks. So, 3 points is going to separate Parisi over Harberts in the Privateer Cup next week in Iowa. And it's expected that both of them will arrive. The Privateer Cup has been very weird this season, so definitely going to be interesting out in Newton, Iowa in 1 week's time. As Kingsbury takes to the regular course, I do believe he jokered last lap. Parisi will follow him. I think Parisi's just going to joker on the last lap of the race. Not like it really matters because these guys are in the final anyways. Everybody is. And it's not like the races of last season and the season prior where we'd only have 6 cars, but there was a quarterfinal and a semifinal. When there was that aspect of it, you could get 2 bonus points for winning the quarterfinal. So there was more importance on the heat race. Now you get a bonus point. While that bonus point is huge, everyone, of course, is on the same playing field. It really, in races like this, mainly because probably the championship's locked up, but even in races like this, there's really nothing to be gained or lost. From high above, Kingsbury holds the lead over Parisi. If we look at the Privateer Cup so far this season, Parisi, 4th, first. Remember, he didn't race from Sonoma, Daytona, Short, and New Hampshire. Harberts hasn't gotten a provisional since Summit Point, so he wasn't able to get a provisional this week or last week. Kingsbury runs it wide in the 25. It looks like Parisi will take the lead in the 11. As we haven't even been focusing on this battle, as Parisi will take 2 to go in the Vujian Racing Subaru. And remember, Moftov finished first for the Privateer Cup the first 4 races, didn't show up for New Hampshire, Lime Rock, and Summit Point. Finished second in Indianapolis, and he's not here either. As Chad Simpson also not here. But given the fact that he has been entered for a provisional, he will finish 3rd, assuming that Parisi wins. And if we're looking at the estimated points right here, it'd be 106. Simpson 97, so he'd be tied with Mofta. So realistically, it's about a 9-point swing in the Privateer Cup. And I don't think he'd be able to get it done. Looks like Parisi ran it wide. He cut the track. He's going to let Kingsbury through. As we take the white flag in the second heat race. As our blimp camera, awesome camera here at Texas Motor Speedway, just to show you the diversity of this circuit. Remember, they're supposed to be running all this asphalt. And NASA officials said, we can't put barriers up. Texas won't allow us, but we can still run the dirt. And Kingsbury, once again, takes it to the regular course, run it wide, and Parisi will joker on the last lap of the race. So that's going to be interesting. I do believe that will take Simpson out of the Privateer Cup Championship running, but we'll just have to see in 1 week's time. It depends on how many cars, as Parisi comes through the final chicane to win the second heat race. Kingsbury transfers, and Kraus will be second in the LCQ order. Remember, that race doesn't actually count. They just use it as practice. So this is going to be fascinating. 6 cars into that first corner, that first real couple of corners. That's going to be really tricky. On pole will be Philip Kraus in car number 1. Connor Parisi in 2nd, 3rd Mertz, 4th Kingsbury, 5th Livingood, 6th Jacob Kraus. Very short show here in Texas, but certainly this race is going to be action-filled as we get ready for the 9th round of the NASA RallyCross Challenge. Glad you can join us all season. We haven't clinched the title yet. We still have to finish this race officially, but we hope you enjoyed today's coverage, and we hope you enjoyed all season. Getting ready in Texas. Green flag, off the line. Parisi will beat Kraus into turn number 1, it looks like. Subaru v Subaru, but they're going to be side by side. It's going to be Kraus down into turn number 1, side by side with Parisi, pushes him out wide, and Kingsbury looks like he's going to take the fight. We might be far wide, exiting the dirt. It's going to be Kingsbury, contact, Kraus is over, and Mertz made contact with all of them. Normally that would be a red flag, but I think that's an automatic position penalty for Mertz. We'll have to take a look. Race control saying it's under review. Kingsbury gets hits Kraus. And the teammates now 5th and 6th. To the back of the field. Mertz is in 6th. Parisi will hold the lead. Damage on his Subaru. Livingood has damage on his Ford, so put him to 2nd, but realistically he's been the beneficiary of all these accidents. And Parisi leads as the Jokers are allowed. Now it's going to be interesting. Will Kingsbury be able to have the pace over Kraus and Mertz and Parisi? To the inside goes Kraus on Kingsbury. Mertz is trying to take the fight to Jacob Kraus. Remember, no relation between those two. But it's all going to be down to, realistically, Parisi. As we take a look at Philip Kraus battling with Kingsbury, and contact with Livingood and Kingsbury as Kingsbury attempted to joker. And it looks like that might be pinned on the 51. That was a little risky, as Mertz does not joker either. Kingsbury back out onto the track, and Jacob Kraus struggling in the 42. Parisi still out in front as we end the 2nd lap of the race. Kraus in 2nd, 3rd is Livingood, 4th is Mertz, 5th is Kingsbury, 6th is Jacob Kraus, and over goes the 42! Big incident for car number 42. We caught that right at the tail end. There's a tire barrier on the exit of that right-hand section of the chicane. I think he clipped it and rolled it. Parisi does not joker. Kraus does not joker. We'll take a look if Livingood does. Mertz will, and Kingsbury hits Livingood again! And Livingood, much slower than the rest of the field, remember. And Kraus battling his teammate now for 2nd. Parisi still holds the lead, and Kraus holds the 2nd spot over Mertz. And it looks like Kingsbury's parked the car in the 25. So he will finish 6th today in Texas. And I'm not sure, but these guys really battling. I think Parisi is struggling with some suspension damage in car number 11. I really think he is, because the teammates are catching him at an alarming rate. Kraus, Mertz, Livingood in 4th, and 5th is Jacob Kraus, but I think that bug is about to be squashed with the Volkswagen. Now I think Mertz's strategy is done. I'm not sure about Kraus. I think he has a joker left, and Parisi has a couple laps left to go on his strategy as well. So interestingly, I don't know what's going on in car number 2 today, but he certainly is not on pace with Parisi or Kraus. And Kraus pushing really hard, trying to get Parisi. Parisi's pulling over. I'm not sure what's going on in car number 11, but Mertz will go to the inside of the American. And Parisi will battle Mertz, exiting the dirt side by side. Will be the 1 and the 11, or 2 and the 11, sorry. But Kraus still holds the lead. And these three have been the class of the field for the last half of this season. And it's been absolutely amazing. As Mertz has his 2nd joker, I stand corrected now. Mertz will joker. Parisi thought about it. As you saw, Mertz sliced to the outside of him. He was going to take the regular course, and he's now going to follow the 2. So this is going to be fascinating. Kraus hanging back in 3rd. He still has his jokers left, but Parisi battling Mertz as we take cross flags in Texas. And who told you that you could not have a good race as Parisi slides it? Cuts the track there. He's going to have to give some time up. Who said you can't have a good race with only a couple cars? I'll tell you, 2012 American Le Mans Series Road America, when there was only 2 cars. That changed my opinion personally about that whole issue. As Mertz, Parisi, Kraus. As the other Kraus, Jacob Kraus, in the bug, struggling. Philip Kraus jokers, and he'll take the lead over his teammate and Parisi. as Parisi much quicker than Mertz. Mertz looks like he's missed the apex in that corner there every single lap. Parisi much faster than the two. I'm not really sure what's going on with the champion-elect today. As Kraus takes 4 laps to go in Texas. Parisi still battling Mertz. Gets the car rotated much better than Mertz in car number 2. Remember, Parisi 2 wins, Mertz 3 wins this season. Parisi trying to make it 3 wins on the season to tie Mertz. And Kraus trying to get his 2nd win this season. And Mopta has 2, but he's not here. Parisi jokers in the 11. Where is Kraus in this situation? He's going to beat Kraus out of the joker rotation. 3 to go for the Vusion Racing Pro driver. Battling the Subaru MRT, defending champion Kraus in car number 1. Mertz struggling in the 2. Kraus runs it wide in the 1. Not really like that matters because everyone has been abusing track limits today. Remember, it's been a little bit relaxed for today's race due to the circumstances. As you see the mixture of grass and gravel, that's considered track limits, but if you're all the way on the grass, then you're in some trouble. It's a lot like Negus that we used to run, if you guys remember that track. These guys are going to follow each other into the regular course again. We're coming to 2 laps to go. Parisi v. Kraus. Mertz in 3rd, Livingood in 4th. And there's no penalty boxes in the final anymore, I don't believe. I believe that rule was abolished, so depending on how that is going to be assessed, I think Mertz might be dropped to the last of the running cars. It's only 1 spot, and the championship really doesn't matter, so I don't think it'll even matter for car number 2. 2 to go for Parisi. This is really the battle for the win today. We have the Vusion Racing Subaru and the Subaru MRT factory car as we exit the dirt once again in Texas. Parisi, last lap, wasn't scored. It was interesting. I do believe it was around a 52nd lap. Kraus at 52 flat, as they both have to take to the regular course again. I believe Kraus has 1 joker left, and he's going to wait until the last lap of the race. Mertz still 3rd, Livingood 4th, 5th Jacob Kraus, 6th Kingsbury. That running order obviously has not changed. Those guys have been in the pit lane out of the race. It's been a cat and mouse duel between the 2 Subarus, and it's not the teammates, but it's certainly the manufacturer teammates that we have seen. White flag for Parisi in Texas. As we go down to the first corner once again, Kraus goes to the inside on car number 11. Will he make it stick? Parisi runs it wide. Kraus a little bit over-rotated. They nearly make contact. Kraus to the lead. I think Parisi knows that Kraus might have a joker left, so he is going to have to push really hard in case that he doesn't. Through the bus stop for the final time, Philip Kraus trying to become the winningest Canadian in NASA RallyCross. Does he have a joker left? Yes, he does, and that's going to seal this race. Kraus jokers in the 1. Parisi still 2nd. Mertz is in 3rd. That's it. Through the bus stop for the final time. Move over, Dylan Livingood. There's a new winningest Canadian in town, and it's Philip Kraus. Win number 14 for Kraus. Parisi slides it through the final chicane and into the tire barrier, but he finishes 2nd ahead of Mertz on the road, as the first set of cones there that just went out of shot was the start-finish line. Mertz comes home on the road in 3rd. Livingood 4th on the road. As Livingood's going to finish up, we're going to take a look here as we await for race control. Win number 14 for Philip Kraus in NASA RallyCross as our final results populate here. That has been deemed that the wreck was on Mertz. We're going to take a look in just a second. But Kraus wins. Parisi, Livingood elevates to the podium for the first time this season. And then Mertz, Kraus, Kingsbury, and then the provisionals, remember, were Chris Wetz and Chad Simpson. So here's the start. Remember, Parisi and Kraus get a great jump. Mertz struggling a little bit on the start. Launch control really hasn't been good. Kingsbury goes to his inside, bumps him out of the way. Kraus battling with Parisi. And let's see here. Let's slow this down. So from high above, perfect camera shot from our ASN crew. From a 12th of the speed, Kraus, Parisi, Mertz, or Kingsbury then Mertz. Mertz is on the binders trying to get the car to stop. Clearly on dirt, even these cars don't stop very well. It doesn't even look like they make contact. It looks like Kingsbury just drives right into Parisi, who ping-pongs into Kraus. And even then, if we pause it right here, 4 cars into a spot that could barely fit 2, even 1, there was going to be an incident there anyways. So if we pause this right here, the only car that's in shape is Parisi, and even he, would be in trouble. So we're going to continue this and show you the carnage. But yeah, not even 3 cars, not even 2 cars make it through that alive typically. So interestingly, Kraus was on his side, and he wins the race. So what a race here in Texas, and we have 1 left to seal off the first season of the Gen 4 regulations. We hope you enjoyed all season long. Congratulations to Philip Kraus on his 14th career victory, making him 4th on the wins list in NASA RallyCross. We hope you enjoyed today's coverage from Texas. We hope to see you in 1 week's time in Newton, Iowa to cap off this season. But until then, so long everyone.